Alright, here we go with our tutorial on how to create a zombie fairy look. So becoming a zombie fairy. You want to start this look without any makeup on your face so that all products can stick to your skin. So there I am showing you my Wolf silicone in light. This is a new product that I bought, and this is actually the first time that I'm using it. So it's a really awesome product because you can create whatever you want with it. It's buildable, and it has a 5-minute drying time. I was pretty excited there because it covered my blemishes pretty well. So because it has that 5-minute drying time, you can really mold it and shape it into whatever it is that you want. And I found that the longer I waited, the more I could pull on it and the more it looked like real pieces of skin, which is great when you're creating a zombie look like this. So on my cheek here, I'm just kind of creating a hole, I suppose, or a burn mark, or whatever you want it to be. That's the thing about zombie makeup, is there really are no rules. You can just create whatever you want and really have fun with it. And since I had never done anything like this before, you can tell that I really did. So I'm pulling on the silicone here, and I'm actually going to add a little bit more product because I want to build up my scars a little bit higher. And yeah, I just wanted it to look a little bit more raised. So now that it's drying, you can actually see that it's looking like ripped flesh. It's pretty creepy looking, I have to admit. So we're just about finished here with the zombie side. A few finishing touches. Now we'll add our foundation to the fairy side. You'll notice that I actually used a foundation that's a different shade than my skin tone, and that's because I wanted to add more of a contrast between the fairy side and the zombie side. So this is a bit darker than my natural skin tone and has a little bit more of a yellow color to it, so I just had to make sure that I blended it in really well. Let it dry for a minute and then set it with your powder. There I am using my MAC Studio Fix powder to set that. Just blend it in really well. Gives that nice matte finish. Using my Lise Watier concealer wheel to get rid of any dark circles, and I always put it over my eye, kind of like a primer. So now for the eyeshadow, I started with my Smashbox cream eyeshadow, and that's my Urban Decay New York palette. So there's my cream eyeshadow as a base, and then I'm going to take a series of colors, all in the purple family, and I'll list them all below. And I start with the lighter colors, and then I just build it up with darker shades of purple. So I'm pointing to the colors that I'm using, but I'll list the names, as I mentioned. Just adding the darker shades into the corner. I found that the pigment was falling on my cheek, so a trick you can use is putting rice powder on your cheek. And once you finish your eye, you just blend that rice powder out, and it kind of works like a magic eraser. It's awesome. So I'm adding some highlight. That's one of my favorite products by Benefit. And some bright purple in there just to give it a bit of a pop. A little bit of white sparkle because it is a fairy look after all. There's my purple eyeliner, my waterline. And then I'm going to add a bit of black and wing out my eye. So you can see that's actually a trick that you use. If you start your eyeliner from the bottom and what they call cutting the corner, it gives you the perfect wing eye look every time. And then you just connect the lines. Takes a bit of practice, but it's a great little trick. So you can see I blended in that rice powder and it cleaned everything up. Now I'm using my Smashbox Pro palette, and I'm using a combination of bronzer, blush, and highlight. And I'll do another video on high definition cheeks when it's a little bit easier to follow and not so sped up. Filling in my brow, adding a bit of mascara here. Fairy side is finished. Alright, those are my Wolf palettes, and I'll list the names of them. They're about $45 each, but they're great paint. They're water-based, so they come off really easily when you wash your face after doing these sort of makeup transformations. That's always helpful. Now for the zombie side, I'm taking my Lise Watier concealer and I'm mixing the green and purple colors just to make my face really nice and even. I decided to do this just so that I could add my paint to it and that it would be a nice even color before I added all those gory colors to it. You can see it covered my blemishes really well as well. So once I put the concealer over, you can really see how that silicone looks like ripped flesh. It's pretty creepy. So I'm adding a bit of gray paint here. As I mentioned, with zombie makeup, you can really just do whatever you want with color. I had no idea what I was doing. I had never done anything like this before, so I just decided to play with colors. Here I'm adding red to my scar. I didn't have fake blood, so I had to get a little bit creative. So I'm adding blood to my scar on my eyebrow and then filling in that gash on my cheek. And I'm adding a bit of brown as well because I wanted the blood to look a bit old and dried up, I suppose. So you can see I'm just adding some colors to my chin, some browns, some blacks, just to give it that dead zombie look. You can see I'm filling in that gash a bit. I'm just adding a bit of color to my eye. The thing with zombies is you want to make sure the eye looks dark. So as you'll notice in this video, there's a lot of experimentation going on. I add a lot of colors to my face just until I get the look that I want, which is what you should do if you try to do a zombie look for Halloween. Get creative with it. So I'm adding some brown to make that scar look like it has some dried blood in it. And I'm also adding some lip gloss because I wanted it to look, I wanted it to have that glossy look that blood sometimes has, I guess. So I'm adding it to my eyebrow as well. And adding a bit of black there. Just blending that out with my fingers. My fingers got really, really dirty during this video. They were covered in paint and glue and all sorts of things. So get ready to get messy when you do a zombie look. Adding some more lip gloss. Thought I'd put some under my eye. Sure, why not? And I'll add some to the gash there too. I want to look as gruesome as I can. Ooh, grossing me out. So then I thought I'm going to add a little bit more black to my eye, really make it look dark. Add a little bit of black to my nose, my chin, just contour my face a bit, really give myself that zombie dead look. Adding some black eyeliner, again just to darken up my eye. I'm adding it on top. The great thing about zombie makeup is you don't have to be accurate and precise like the fairy side. You can be messy. And now I am showing you how to put on the stitches. So what I did was I just cut string, I put spirit glue on it, and I just held it down until it dried. So this was really messy. Very sticky and a bit tedious, so I'm just showing you how to do one there. I had to hold it down with my nail, and there you go. So that took me a little while. Now I'm back. I have my stitches all in place. And now I'm adding the dots where I guess the needle would have pierced my skin for these stitches. So a little bit of red and brown together, and I just add dots to where the needle would have pierced my skin. And this is me adding the lash to my fairy side. I had to cut out the part where I tried to add my dollar store lashes. I bought some really neat feather lashes, but they had some sort of adhesive on them and it was a nightmare. So the lesson learned through this Halloween experience is do not buy dollar store lashes because they're quite a hassle. I ended up having to redo the eyeshadow on my fairy eye. So that just has a nice clean look. I used my Ardell lashes that I cut in half. I'm adding some mascara to the zombie side and blending my eyelashes on my fairy side. Here I'm adding some black pigment with my finger because it puts it on really dark when you use your finger, but that wasn't dark enough, so I added some paint. to my eye just to really darken it up. And I also added some paint to my lips. I didn't really know what zombie lips looked like, so I just got creative. And added some lip gloss, outlined my lips with black eyeliner, kind of like a lip liner, and I thought that looks too pretty. So why don't I add some more black? Kind of create like an ombre look. And then I thought I'd add a little bit more blood down my mouth, but I wasn't really crazy with how that looked, so I erased a bit of it and just kind of blended it out. And I like that better. Alright, so here's the finished look I'm putting on my wig here. Just making sure that my fairy side is nice and tidy. And then I wanted my zombie side to look a little bit rough. So I added some black paint with my paintbrush, just messed up the hair a bit. And that's pretty much it. Add a little bit more black to my chin, messed up my hair. That's all. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this look. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There's my best zombie face. Ooh. Happy Halloween!